What's going on, guys? All right, man. If you see a little black shade, I just put a new screen cover on my phone, and I didn't put it on straight, so it's covering up my camera a little bit. I got another one on the way, so I have to redo it. But anyway, put a video down below. I am going to put it in the description box. I watched it the other day, and so I want to do a little thing on it. Some guy was interviewing this homeless couple who was living in their car with their 3 kids and the dogs. Okay, now apparently they had just enough money to rent a motel room for a couple days, but then they ran out of money, so they're broke. But now they're living in their car with their 3 kids. I think it's 3 kids and the dogs. Can you imagine that? Okay. So anyway, guys, it just sparked my mind that this is where the churches fail. Oh, because your states and your governments, they're only gonna, they don't care. They're gonna kick these homeless people out of their shelters and kick them out of wherever they are. Okay, like in the city that I live, they have one homeless shelter, and it's on one side of the town. So if you want to stay there, you got to travel all the way across town. And then on top of that, you got to check in. You got to go through all this BS just to get in there. And it's just a hassle. A lot of them, the place is so disgusting that most of these homeless people don't even want to go there. That's how bad it is. Okay, they would rather probably die in the street than go to this place. Okay, this is what they got. For these people. This is what's being offered. Anyway, man, this is where the churches fail. You got all these huge churches like the Catholic Church and all these other churches, Joel Osteen and all these other churches making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay? We got big churches in this pathetic city that I live in, if you want to call it that. And same thing. Okay, but what I'm trying to convey to you is this, okay? These people, and every person that's homeless, that is, down on their luck and being thrown out in the street or whatever they're going through, they should know that they can go knock on any church door and get some kind of help. Okay, that should be the standard that everybody should be aware of. That if you are down on your knees, man, you should be able to walk up to any church, if you're doing God's work, any church that's doing the right thing, you should be able to walk up to that church, knock on the door, and get some kind of food and shelter or whatever you need. I mean, if this church has 3,000 members, there's got to be 1,000 guys in there that can fix cars and do things for the homeless or do things for this or do things for that. I mean, this is the way a church should operate. Okay, this is why God is going to be very disappointed. I knew you, and God is going to say, or Jesus is going to say, I knew you not. Okay, depart from me. Okay, now you got Joel Osteen as an example, just one of them. Guy's making millions and millions of dollars buying yachts, buying mansions, buying all these planes. And everything he's got. Just think what he could do with all that money for all these homeless people, that are out on the streets, living underneath a bridge, can't find a job. And before any of you say that these people don't want to work, I don't want to hear about that because that's BS. Okay? There's not there's not enough good paying jobs out there that these people can afford to buy a car and pay for the insurance and get on their feet and do the right thing. It doesn't work like that. Okay? I mean, if they got to travel 100 miles to get to their job, I mean, who's going to do that? There's jobs available, paying $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour. Well, hell, you can't live on that. You may as well not work at all. By the time you pay, you got to have a car to get to work and everything else. If you got kids, you got a family, it's just a big mess. But anyway, guys, this. And then on top of that, think of all these people that go to, just another example, that go to Joel Osteen's church, that are handing Joel Osteen millions of dollars, you know, hand over fist every time they go. You know, they're just giving this guy all this money. You guys are just as guilty. Okay? You're going to be held responsible and credible, okay, just because of what you're doing. You cannot understand. You can see what this preacher's doing with your money. And yet you're still giving it to him. And yet all these homeless people are out here suffering. All these people in all these other countries are suffering. And yet you're forking money hand over fist to these wolves that are taking your money and buying all these fancy things. So you obviously will be held accountable as well. You know, for what you're doing with that cash, giving it to some guy like that. But anyway, man, I'm going to put the video down in the description or down in my comments and just check it out. I mean, it's pathetic. It really is, man. I mean, this guy obviously can't get a job, and he's got cancer, and he has diabetes on top of that. And then his wife, and then his 3 kids, they're all living in a car. It's just unimaginable what some people are suffering with. It is. It is. It's just totally, dude. And the bad part is, as I said, these churches are just overflowing with money, most of them. Most of them, a lot of them. You know, these huge churches that are just got money just coming out, whatever, you know. And they're putting up big screen TVs. They got their fancy lights. They got their stages. They're high, you know, on and on and on. They're buying these big buildings, you know. They got to pay all these taxes, you know, where Jesus, he would preach outside on the ground, you know, out in the rain, out in the sun. But no, not nowadays. You know, we got to have all the fancy stuff to cost all this money. We got to lure in the sheep to make more money. It's a business. That's what churches are today. They're a business. It's about making money most of the time. You know, oh yeah, they'll give a little bit here and a little bit there, and they're going to do a little bit here and a little bit there, but they have a lot of surplus, okay? There's a lot of needy people. Again, I'm saying people like this guy and his family should be able to, they should just automatically know that they can walk up to any church, knock on the door, and say, I need help. What can you do for me? Can you help me? And then right away that church, you know, if the guy's got a problem with his car, they should fix it. Okay, get some guy. Like I say, there's 1,000, 2,000 guys within the church that can work on cars. A guy like me, okay, bring that car over here. We'll get it fixed. Free of charge. You know, things of that nature. All right, man, I'm into this 8 minutes. I'm going to put that video down below. It really is. It's just, it's sickening, you know, to see what some people are suffering with, you know. And it's also sickening to see the condition of these churches and how they operate. Anyway, all right. Peace out. God bless. Take care.